Hello, welcome to a special edition of Name That Synth. Just kidding. This is the Roland JD800. This is another synth that I owned. I bought it used in the late 90s or the early 2000s. Yeah, it's the late 90s. And I bought it out of a Guitar Center in Sherman Oaks, California. We called it Show Oaks.
We visited Evil Pie on Fremont Street South, and I really like the pizza here. Real thin crust, real big slices. It tastes great. One of the things about it reminds me of a New York slice, and my friends seem to enjoy it. It was a good moment. This is one of my favorite quick stops for pizza in all of Vegas. It's a good time.
I used to play this synth in the early 90s at Nadine's Music off of Santa Monica Boulevard. Red Hot Chili Peppers would remember this store. It was a really cool music store and kind of heading towards the Wilshire district. And it was in the midst, I guess, in the midst of Hollywood near Paramount Pictures. But that was a very cool keyboard store. And this is one of the synths I used to go there and play. It was so cool. It was kind of the it was a digital synth, but it had analog controls. A lot of sliders and some pots, which are potentiometers. So it was kind of a throwback, and I think this was kind of ushering in the return to analog. This was kind of the first foray into things going into kind of going back into analog. Because analog synths right about this time were probably really cheap. You can get them very inexpensive, but as the 90s went on, they started becoming more and more expensive. But anyway, this synth had a digital sound that could emulate analog to an extent, but it also did a lot of digital tones as well. One of the types of sounds. It has a lot of great string sounds and pads, and it really did a great job with bells, basses. Anyway, you get the idea. That's a real fat sound. Let's try that again. That's a little better. Like that. I was not really big on those types of sounds. I like real pianos, but the digital ones were not really my forte. Let's see what else we got going here. Bass. That's a really cool bass sound. But this brought in the JD990, which was an amazing rack mount synth that became the JD1080, which was one of biggest rack sales of all time. I think it racked up more sales in rack mount synthesizers than anything else, if I'm not mistaken. And then it came out with the XV50. And right about that time, I was selling keyboards at a guitar center in San Diego, in El Cajon. And those synths were ruling the day back then. I sold a few of those. Pretty cool. And what do we got going here? Pretty good sound. P50 sounds. Digitally cat sound thing. Anyway, this synth was it basically was a return to form, a harbinger of things to come, I think. I really had that analog thing going on. Very cool. This orange bang tastes just like an orange Julius. It's amazing. And it's all you can drink. But this is amazing. Oh, wow, that looks amazing. And that's the first pork. The one in the middle looks like chorizo, and then this one right here is the asada steak. It's looking pretty good. Should always be plenty of seating here because they've got lots and lots of seats. They got a middle section and a section on the side. They're seating on the inside and the outside. So, you got pork, asada, chorizo, and then down here you have adobo pork, and then you also have beef tongue gross, but there's also chorizo. There's El Gordo, and we're going to try the pork one first and see how that is. This is not going to be easy. They just loaded these up. These tacos are from the street. You know what? That is amazing. I love the pork one. Adobo, whatever, it's good. I'm a big fan of chorizo. Let's try that out. Man, that pork taco was amazing. There was nothing wrong with that. Happy Taco Tuesday. It's good, but it's not as flavorful as the pork taco. I don't hate it. I would have added some pico de gallo, but I don't think they have pico de gallo. These tacos are very good. They give you a lot. Okay, now we gotta try the steak taco. This is the asada steak. Let's see if we can get that one going. These are so hard to eat. Don't waste cilantro. Never. So we get that. Throw that on there. Give me a second here. It's going to be a mess. That's really good. That's seasoned and very flavorful. The chorizo was very light on flavor. But as much as I love cilantro, I need the pico de gallo. I think that everything would benefit from that.
But so far, the pork is my favorite. In second place is the asada. I think there's just slightly too much salt on that. I think they need to season it just a smidge less. But it's really good. But it'd be perfect. These are real street tacos. These tacos are from the street, just like your girl. It's left on the plates. I can make a fourth taco. I get another tortilla, or like 2 corn tortillas. Just make that fourth taco. Not bad. Yeah. Back to this guy. Stands in stark contrast to the other two without the flavor. The asada is really good, but it's just a smidge too much salt or seasoning. And then the pork was perfect. I love the pork. It's my favorite taco here. So when I come back, I'm just gonna get pork tacos mainly. But it's a really fun, cool vibe to come here. They have one of these on the strip, and there's usually very long lines. I've seen videos, and I never knew that they had this kind of thing where you just order your tacos from different stations, which is pretty cool. I like this place. If you want some authentic street tacos, I imagine this is pretty close. Out of 3 tacos, I finished 2. I left almost 2/3 of another taco. I'm throwing in the towel. The proverbial town, the proverbial. God, I can't think of that word. Someone throws in the towel, and it's the proverbial. They're not really throwing in the towel. Man, that's gonna keep me up at night. Oh well, I messed that one up. It's the proverbial town. The proverbial. I can't say this word. It's the proverbial towel. I'm throwing in the proverbial towel. What the hell? That was a saying. That was something. I guess that's a culture long lost. Well, this is a brief overview of the JD800 by Roland. And basically, this is a 2 oscillator synth. It's got LFOs, different types of filters that you can control over time. Then this is the amplifier. They're basically just amplifiers, but they just put in their own Roland speak for these things. And you could do a lot with them. They have multiple LFOs, and you could assign things to different other controllers so you can get different dynamic sounds and modulated sounds. Let's see what's kind of being built into this. Yeah, that's modulated. So when you push up on the wheel, it does a little something, something. So there you have it. That's the JD800 by Roland. Another synth that I did own. I did get this one used. Most of the synths I bought used. I do buy a lot of them new too, but a fair amount were bought used, which is not bad. I'm not complaining. But this was a landmark synth, is what I'm trying to say. And it's something that is a pantheon in the world of synthesizers. I know that many albums in the 90s that Martin Gore used this synth on a lot of Depeche Mode albums. That's for sure, even going into the 2000s. So that's what's up with this synth, and I'll see you on the next one.